Good morning. I'm Janie Parrish with the Wadsworth Area Chamber of Commerce, and we are zooming in across the square to the Wadsworth Public Library with our very famous, and I mean very famous director, Daniel Slife. Good morning, Daniel.
Good morning, Janie. I don't know about famous, but definitely very directorly director. I'll say that.
Okay. Well, the reason that we wanted to ask Daniel to talk with us on a Zoom into Business is we want to learn about the summer reading program, because I know both of my grandsons had participated and love it. So tell us about the summer reading program, Daniel.
Yep. Thank you for the opportunity. It's really, the summer reading program is such a foundation for everything that we do, and in the spirit of it, and what we're trying to do for the community and what that means for a family. But I'll kind of take a broader lens and just say that it also has a lot to do with business and people succeeding in whatever they do in life, whether that's academically or professionally. That reading as a habit is just proven time and time again, study after study. I know for those who read my quarterly program guide messages that I've been, beating that drum for some time, but it can't be understated. So much happens when you read, and when not only the critical thinking skills that you develop, but also the connections and the ability to make connections. That is the creative part of becoming an adult and becoming a reader over time, that makes you fruitful in those other things in life. And what could be more important than the language that differentiates us fundamentally from every other living creature on this planet. And so reading is just so important, and summer reading is about trying to create that culture of joy and wonder in reading. Not reading as a chore, but getting beyond those struggling early moments when, before we recorded, we talked about how my son was struggling to learn to read. And then it was like one day a light bulb went on at the beginning of second grade, and he started reading the quotations and reading with intonation, where, it gets beyond the technique and into the art of reading. And reading is really an art form that is available to all of us, that shapes us and helps us to find our own individuality. And so with summer reading, that's the spirit of it, is exploration and curiosity. Every year we do it. Every library does it. And here in Wadsworth, we have a really robust program. The last time that we checked, we had looked at our peer group in the state, and then just libraries throughout the state who report on their summer reading statistics every year. And in the per capita measure of our participation, we were up in the 10th percentile in the state for how many families show up and how much reading they do. And so this is that culture is a really thriving aspect of our community, and you can see that reflected in the strength of support and the quality of our schools, as well as the support of the library and other institutions in the community. And so we take it really seriously, and we know that it's the founding kind of cornerstone of what we do here in our mission, because our job is to cultivate lifelong readers, because lifelong readers are succeeders, and that success translates into every aspect of life, from business to academics to emotional intelligence and interpersonal relationships. Reading is such a powerful fertilizer of quality of life in a community. And so we start with the little ones, and we have a program that breaks out into multiple age groups, and everybody can participate. But really the core focus is on making sure that those kids who have worked so hard during the school year, no matter what age they are, don't lose that muscle. Developing that reading muscle, especially in those young years when your brain is still growing exponentially. They say that the mind is not structurally done developing until the early 20s, as late as 21 or 22, that the major structures are still being formed. And so it's easy for a child who works very hard during the school year and even teenagers, to lose some of that tone in that mental muscle over the summer. And so the spirit of it is really about getting quickly beyond that struggling phase of reading into the enjoyment of the art of reading, so that when it's time to keep on doing it over the summer, it comes naturally and easily. It helps parents as a platform to incorporate and figure out how to make that ritual part of their lives with their children. And some families have that from intergenerationally just doing that work. And sometimes we have parents who come who are the ones who are trying to break the cycle of too much TV time and not enough reading. And so it offers a continuation of a tradition and also the opportunity for people to reestablish that. And that's really the core purpose behind it and the spirit of it. And then every year we do a different kind of theme that we use to kind of pull things together and keep it coherent. And this year we are traveling around the world. After being so locked down where we are, we're going to be traveling with our imaginations around the world. We've got programs set up that I'll talk about a little bit later to get kids thinking about other places, other people, other cultures, other things to see. The world is wide, and you know, your mind, if you can't go there physically, you can grasp it with your mind. And so that's where we're going this year. And throughout the process, you report on the number of minutes and books you've read, depending on what age group you're in. And we've got incentives and prizes that the kids love to come and get. You know, come here as a ritual with the family, to return your books, to pick up new books, to check in. That was one of the things that was really lost last year by necessity at first, was that when the program began, you couldn't come in the building yet. We were still on curbside at first. We had a really great app for phones, and which you could access through the web as well, that allowed people to register and clock their time and their books. But we heard from a lot of patrons that they'd really like to be here. And so people really like the experience of coming in, getting their books, talking to the librarians, checking in their hours, getting their prizes. And so that's another part of it. And then kind of the icing on the cake is the programming. Prior to COVID, we had a lot of performers we would bring in. We had very large programs in our combined meeting rooms. Often we would actually lean on our partners at Sacred Heart and at the Wadsworth City Schools to use the gym at Sacred Heart, or even the OJ Work Center across the street and other facilities when we had really big crowds. Because we could sometimes have 200 people come to some of these bigger programs. And so things got scaled back. This year, we're working our way back into it. And I know one of the questions you had given me in advance was what was unique about it. And I think the really unique thing this year is that it's a reopening. Since 2001, have had a really nice courtyard out here on the northeast side of the building that we have not really utilized that well. And so now is going to be a time to start incorporating that more into what we do moving forward this summer. And for summer reading, we're going to be doing our programming out here.
Nice.
Yeah, we'll have a program every week throughout the season for the kids. And we'll be looking at we've already have several sessions of each program planned so that we can kind of control the volume, because we are going to still keep it outside, even though the orders have changed subsequent to our planning. But we'll be ready to respond if we get an exceptional number of registrants. We'll figure out a way to make it all work. But this will be the first return of programs for our families who we've seen them browsing, but we haven't seen them all together. So this will be a real homecoming for our team and for the community and those who have missed out on that library time. And in addition to that, we are also going to be out in the parks. We are doing pop-up libraries in all of the city's parks throughout the summer months. We'll have a schedule posted for that on our website shortly. And you'll be able to check in with your summer reading minutes there at the park, or borrow books from a small circulating library, register for a card if you don't have one. So we'll be live and serving patrons in the parks throughout the summer. Whatever we can do to make it an option for people who would rather not be inside a building right now, and those who are comfortable kind of returning back to normal. We're going to try to straddle both of those worlds, and that goes for summer reading and library service in general.
Oh, I love all of that. Yeah, thank you for doing this, for you and your team for doing this. And I wanted to ask, so people need to register their child.
That's right.
Okay, and they can do that on your website?
Yeah, if you just go to wadsworthlibrary.com, we have got a couple places for you to click on the very front page where you'll see summer reading registration. And that will take you into a kind of breakdown of the different ages. You'll see the different age groups. And, on that page, we have Read to Me, which is birth to age 2. We have the Summer Reading Club for ages 3 to grade 6. So that's a pretty wide expanse, but that's the meat of the program. That's where most of the children and families participate. Before COVID, we had over 1,000. I can't remember the exact number of folks. I should have pulled that, but thousands of people, I think it was over 1,400
Wow.
register for the program. And that's the number that makes us up in that 10th percentile per capita in the state. Just a lot of people come out for the program. And then it starts to taper off as library service generally does. Summer reading is a microcosm. Teen Summer Reading Club, we get fewer, we get a couple hundred sometimes less than 100. That's pretty typical of how many teens come to the library. It's a perennial challenge for libraries. Libraries have talked about so many different ways to bring teens in, and nothing has ever consistently stuck. So that's always a challenge for us, but we tweak it and we try to think of new ways to reach out to the teens. And we've had a really great partnership with the Wadsworth City Schools. Prior to the pandemic, we had started doing pop-up libraries at the high school and middle school, where we were not only checking out materials and helping kids with their accounts, we coupled that with a transition where we would do direct delivery of books to students at the schools. And so if you were a student at the middle or high school or central intermediate, you could click that you wanted your books to come to the library and we deliver them to you in your classroom. And so that's something, as the schools are looking at returning circulation of their books, that we'll look to be talking to the schools about when we might be able to reestablish that. And then above the teenage years, it's wide open for adults. Anybody who is not in high school is welcome to participate. It's a different kind of program just because the volume of folks who participate is significantly lower. But this year we have a raffle for those who complete. We are raffling off an Adirondack chair, a nice kind of composite Adirondack chair. So good summertime gift for the winner there.
It's a perfect summertime gift.
Absolutely.
Daniel, I can't thank you enough for pulling all of this together with your team. And that is absolutely awesome. And what you're giving to everyone is a gift that never stops giving.
Well, it's our pleasure. We are so happy to be able to do this again. We're grateful for the community support, which is what makes all of this stuff possible in the first place. So we're just happy to be opening the doors back up, and folks can look for an announcement within the next week. Well, hopefully by the end of this week. We're finalizing how we're going to be adapting to the June 2nd rescinding of the health orders. So finalizing that plan now, but there should be more information forthcoming shortly.
Okay, well, thank you, Daniel, and we'll see you at the library.
Thank you, Janie. Take care.
Good morning. I'm Janie Parrish with the Wadsworth Area Chamber of Commerce, and you are zooming into business with actually one of our board of directors members, Mike Reese. Hello, Mike, and good morning.
Good morning, Janie.
Oh, you look very patriotic there this morning. Love that picture.
Thanks.
Yeah. Okay, so the reason that we're talking with Mike Reese today is that he is a realtor with Berkshire Hathaway Home Services, Stouffer Realty. How'd I do on that one? That's a long name.
Pretty good.
Okay.
Pretty good.
Good deal. Okay.
It's a mouthful.
So it is a mouthful. You have to feel sorry for the person that answers the phone. Yep, that's a lot to say. So anyways, Mike, what we wanted to talk to you about is your business as a realtor, because this is a really busy time for realtors. Yeah. So how long have you been a realtor?
I've been a realtor for, I'm going on 4 years now. And it's been quite an experience. Right when I got into it, the market was kind of on the upswing, and it's been kind of on fire ever since. So it's been a crazy learning experience for sure.
And how did you decide to become a realtor?
Well, a lot of things. I've actually thought about it for a while. I growing up, I did a lot of customer service type stuff, and it's always been something I thought I'd be good at. But what really was the catalyst is I needed more flexibility in my day-to-day life. If you know my wife, Michelle, she's an attorney, and she doesn't have much flexibility. She's really kind of a busybody at work, and we have kids, and we also are foster parents. So having that flexibility was really attractive and kind of making your own hours kind of deal. So that's why I kind of got into it.
And that's a perfect fit. Yeah, for when you have children. I wanted to ask why you chose Berkshire Hathaway.
Well, that's a good story. Well, not good, but short. But one of the first people I knew in Wadsworth when me and my wife moved back after she got done with law school was Joanna Perino, who was also a realtor. And so she was the first one I went to, and I said, "Hey, I'm thinking about doing this. What do I need to do?" And she kind of helped me along, and she's also with Berkshire Hathaway. So I gravitated toward that way because of her, and I've really been happy there. Our broker, Michelle Boyd, is really, really wonderful, and she's just been a joy to work under. So I just stuck with them. I'm really happy there, and just continue to keep growing there. So.
Now, of all the real estate companies that you could have chosen, because there are quite a few that serve the Wadsworth area, what's so unique about Berkshire Hathaway?
Well, they're a great company to work for. We're actually a franchise of Berkshire Hathaway, so we're Stauffer Realty under a company called Northwood Realty Services out of Pittsburgh. They're the largest Berkshire Hathaway agency in the country. They have over 60 offices, and they've expanded into Ohio, and we're one of the further west ones. They recently purchased Stauffer, so we remain under the Stauffer name, which is a lot more well known here than Northwood is. And it's been great. They're a huge company. They give you lots and lots of support, and they have a lot of good people to help train you and teach you how the real estate business works. Also, since we're under Berkshire Hathaway, we get a lot of support from them. They're one of the largest companies. They're the 9th largest company in the entire world, with over 360,000 employees. So they're a really large company. So we get lots of support from them. As you know, Berkshire Hathaway is owned by Warren Buffett, who's a great businessman. He's the 4th richest man in the world at this point.
Holy smokes.
So he knows what he's doing,
Yeah.
He's got a really great company, and he's really done wonderful things with it, and working under that umbrella has certainly been great. So
Now, Mike, why do you love what you do?
why do I love what I do? Oh, you know
Yes.
what? I'm a people person, and I like to talk, so it's perfect for me. It's great meeting with new people, and these are people a lot of times that are buying like maybe their first new home, which is kind of the epitome of the American dream, to own your own property, own your own home. And it's great to help them along with that. You get to see the look on their face when they get the keys to their house that they might have been working their whole lives for. So it's a really great feeling to help them with that. And it can be pretty tough to navigate the ins and out of buying a home or even selling a home. So they can rely on our expertise to make that transition smooth. And it does, it puts a smile on my face when I see that, them getting those keys, and I've never seen somebody buy a house and be sad about it. So.
Oh, sure. Yeah. Well, for myself, I've only purchased a few homes in my lifetime. So this is not an area that I understand or know much about. And I'm sure things change all the time. And so that's why the support from Berkshire Hathaway has to be wonderful.
No, absolutely. I mean, part of, being a good agent is following the market, seeing where things are going. You want to help your clients make informed decisions. So it's very important that you keep up on that stuff. Or else you won't be very good.
Oh, boy. What is the most unique thing you've ever seen in a home, Mike?
Oh man, that's tough. I've been in a lot of houses now. I don't know. The most unique thing, I will say, one of my favorite things is I love going into old houses because they're all kind of unique. A lot of houses today, they're kind of cookie cutter. They have whole neighborhoods of houses that look the same. But when you go into old houses, they're all, individual, and they, have their own charm to them, different kinds of woodwork, different kinds of architecture, which you don't quite see as much anymore other than in very high-end houses.
Right. Well,
So,
Mike,
that's
I'm
great.
sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead, Janie.
Well, when I first met you, you were working at Stan Hewitt.
Mhm.
Yeah, and then you went to the Akron Art Museum. And so that was, this is just perfect for you. Yeah.
Absolutely.
To take your knowledge into that, into the real estate market. So yeah, I think a great fit for you. Yeah. Now, Mike, how can people find you?
Well, there's several ways you can find me. I have a Facebook page. So if you look for Michael Reese, Berkshire Hathaway Home Services, Stoffer, I'm on there. We have an office here in Wadsworth. Right, if you know where Kasai is, we're in the building just to the left of that. So we have an office there, which you can call 336-8883. We have that staff, so all you have to do is call and be like, hey, I'm looking for a house. I want to talk to Michael, and they'll hook you up. You can also reach me through Google. So if you Google me, you'll find me right there on Google. And we also have an office in Medina that's our parent office for the area. So very easy to find. We're kind of all over the place. So.
Oh, gosh. Well, we did an amazing ribbon cutting at the Medina office last month. And I said about Berkshire Hathaway, and 50 agents yelled out, "It's Berkshire." So I know that now. Holy.
Oh, yeah. That ribbon cutting was amazing. Michelle, man, they really pulled out all the stops. Being with the chamber, we've done a lot of ribbon cuttings, and that's probably the most people I've seen. Our agents really showed out for that. It was a really, really fun time. So I'm really proud of them for that.
Oh, well, Mike Reese from Berkshire Hathaway Home Services, Stoffer Realty, or Stoffer Realty.
Yeah.
Stoffer. Okay, I got them all right. I think the sun must have came in because I'm pretty light here. Yeah. So anyways, thank you, Mike. You're a wonderful addition to Wadsworth, your entire family, your children, and of course, Michelle, and then, and you being a foster parent. Thank you so much for all that you do.
No problem. We love Wadsworth. We love living here, and we love being involved in the community.
Okay, great. We'll talk to you soon.
All right. Thank you, Janie.
Oh my gosh. Thank you. Good morning. I'm Janie Parrish from the Wadsworth Area Chamber of Commerce, and you are zooming onto the west side of Wadsworth, Ohio, right down to see Kristy Beal of Kristy Beal State Farm Insurance. So good morning, Kristy.
Good morning, Janie. How are you doing?
Boy, I tell you, it's always a treat to talk to you. You light up everything.
Oh, thanks. I think the same thing of you. So this should be entertaining for everyone.
Oh, I love you. Okay. Well, first of all, tell us about your insurance business.
Sure. So I actually opened my office in 2014, but I was originally located in Medina. And I was renting a spot, but looking for a place in Wadsworth to move my office since I live here. And just happened to find a place that was right across from the hospital. It was a foreclosed property. I believe it was a podiatrist's office before.
Okay.
In the beginning, still had clients that were coming in, trying to have their feet looked at. So, but yeah. Anyway, turned it into an insurance office, and I've been here ever since.
Oh my gosh, how many people do you employ?
So right now I have 2 full-time team members, but I am looking for another person. So I know everybody seems to be looking for employees right now. If you know of anyone or if anybody is interested, I'm absolutely looking for another team member.
Very nice. Okay, so tell us about why you chose to sell State Farm insurance.
Well, I actually had two friends whose fathers were State Farm agents when I was in high school. So I went into college knowing that I wanted to go into insurance and wanted to be an agent for State Farm. When I graduated, I actually went to State Farm and went to the claims side of things. So I had a feel for what the corporate environment was like. I wanted to make sure that the company was exactly who I thought they were going in. And then prior to opening my agency, I actually worked for another State Farm agent. They've always been a fantastic company to me, to my family. The agents that I knew from when I was young always spoke very highly of the company. And I love the fact that the agents were really involved in the community. It was something where it gave them something to do professionally, but it also gave them a way to connect outside of the office, which is perfect for me with my personality.
Because you are involved in the community.
I am, yeah. I try to get involved in anything that speaks to my heart. So
Okay, and so what are you involved in? Because I just want to shout out here.
So I actually serve on the board of directors for the chamber. I was contacted by some amazing person to get involved in that. Wink, wink. And I also head up a nonprofit called the Wadsworth Community Foundation. We are a foundation that provides grants to educators at all of Wadsworth City schools. And I was recently just nominated to be the CIS PTO president for next year.
Wow. Boy,
Yeah.
You are busy.
I am busy, but I love it. It's a blessing to be able to have a business where I have the ability to spend time and do things in the community too. So, and that's truly part of why I got into this. I want to do something where I'm able to support the people in the community that are supporting my business.
Oh, and that's what's unique about your agency as well as State Farm.
Very true. Very true.
Absolutely.
And it's not something that a lot of folks have the ability to do. I mean, sometimes when you've got a small business, you have to be there and be running it every single day. And the nice thing with me is because my business is a little more established now, I have the ability to walk away and it runs the same even when I'm not here. So when I'm out in the community and meeting with people and doing other things, it continues to work the same way, which is nice.
Very nice. Now, Kristy, why do you love what you do?
I think for me, it's just the interaction with people. I've always been a people person. I love to talk and form new relationships. I love to get to know new people, find out what they like about Wadsworth or Medina, Barberton, all the surrounding areas. So for me, it was just a natural fit. It's a role that allows me to just interact with people and get to know them. So.
Very nice. And how can people find you?
Well, they can find us a lot of different ways. They can find us by driving down Leatherman. Again, we're right across from the hospital. They can find us online. They can look up Kristy Beal, State Farm. They can go directly to my website, which is kbeal.com. They can find us on Facebook or Twitter. We're pretty much everywhere. So you can just look up my name and you should be able to find us.
Oh, well, Kristy Beal of State Farm Insurance, thank you for talking with us today. And thank you for helping so many families. And thank you for your community service.
Of course. Thank you, Janie. I really appreciate all that you do for the community as well.
Oh, stop. Thank you, Kristy.
All right. Thanks, Janie. Take care.